Hello, everybody. It is Tuesday, April 28th. It's Mrs. Shay, and I'm here to do a phonics lesson with you guys. So I'm glad you joined me. Thanks for coming and watching. Couple things before I get started with the lesson. I want to remind you that you can subscribe to the channel down below, and that'll help it be a little easier for you to find the channel every day. So when you go to YouTube, because you're subscribed to it, it'll pop up on the left-hand side. The other thing you can do is bookmark the channel as well, bookmark the site. So at the top of your web address, there's a little star, and if you bookmark it, then again, it'll be easy for you or your mom and dad to find our website to come to every day to check us out. My goal for this lesson and every lesson is going to be to practice a few things with you guys. And then also have some sort of extension. So after we're done, you can keep working with mom and dad or brother and sister, whoever's at your house, and do a couple things on your own as well. If your parents are there watching, hi! I'm glad you helped your child find us, and I'm glad that you'll be with us. You can stay and watch. You might learn a few things. I have had my husband watching our phonics lesson with my kids. So he's kind of sitting on the side, doing it with us, helping me. And a couple times his eyebrows raised a little bit. And I think it's because he's like, oh, I didn't even know that. And then even a few months ago, I watched another teacher do a phonics lesson, and there was some things that I learned. So hopefully you can stay and watch with your child to kind of help them through everything. And hopefully it'll make it easier for you when you're working with your child later. And then this is a video, so if you need to take a break or you need to get something or have to go away for a minute, you can pause and get started again. Later on, I'll have you get some supplies, so at that point you can pause. I'll let you know when. Go get your supplies, and then you'll be able to come back. So let's get started with phonics. So what is phonics? Phonics is the sounds that the letters make. So every time we teach someone to read, we start with the letters, right? In kindergarten, you learn all the letters and their sounds. As you get older, we start blending some of those letters together. We also have vowel teams. So sometimes the letters by itself, like A, and sometimes it's a vowel team, A-I, which would make the long vowel. So as we sound out words, we're using phonics. So whenever you hear your mom or dad or teacher say, oh, sound it out, you're using phonics. Another way that I remember that is when you call someone on the phone, you are hearing the sounds that they are making. You're hearing the sound over the phone. And phone starts just like phonics. So phonics is all about the sounds. Most of the lessons will be geared towards kindergarten, first grade, and second grade. I will have a few modifications for third, fourth, and fifth. So everyone is welcome to join and watch us, and hopefully, like I said, you'll learn something new. You will have a nice activity to do with us, and then there is a game at the end as well that you can play later on. So today what we're going to talk about is Elconian boxes. So these are Elconian boxes. They are also called sound boxes. And the reason they're called that is because in each of the box, you put a sound. So I know you might be thinking, well, I don't have that cool paper, Mrs. Shay, and I want to do these activities with you. What can I do? Well, I have a few things for you. So the first choice is maybe you have some Post-its around the house. So instead of using the boxes, you can use the Post-it. So each Post-it can be a sound box. So I just have two here. Sometimes the Elconian boxes are 2 sounds, sometimes they're 3. They can even be 4 or 5. So you can put however many Post-its of the sounds you hear, and then you can write right on there. Okay. And then another way, if you don't have Post-its, is just with marker and paper. So again, Elconian boxes can be more than one. So here's one that would be 4 boxes long. And then just like mine, that my flight school friends should remember from flight school, you can put an arrow across, and we'll talk about why later, and then you can put a line where you will write the word as it is. And then last but not least, this is kind of big and maybe you don't want to waste that much paper. You can also do it paper and pencil this way. So there's a 3 box, a 2 box, a 4 box, and you might be wondering right now, how do I know how many boxes to use? I'll show you that later. So lots of different ways you can do it. I'm going to be working with our whiteboard one. Also, if you have just a whiteboard, because this is actually laminated, so we'll be able to write on it and erase. If you have a whiteboard at home, you can go ahead and use that as well. Okay. So there's a few things you can do with Elkonian boxes. We're going to talk about the first one, which is blending. So this is where you put all the sounds together. So what I'm going to do right now, you're just going to listen, and I'm going to write the letters. You're going to sound it out with me, and then we'll blend it together. Like I said, I know my flight school friends should remember this. We do this a lot in class. So our first one, I'm going to write the letter H, O, and T. So if we sound out each letter one at a time, it'll sound like this. Ah, t. And then we go back to the beginning, we blend it all together. So it'll sound like this. Ah, t, hot. Okay, so that's blending the letters together. Okay, let's try another one. And this time I'm going to write it with you, and I want you to try to, at home, sound it out yourself. Okay, so this one is going to be S-U-N. So sound it out at home and blend it together. What word did you get? Sun. Awesome, good job. And these words, I'm just kind of thinking of them. I'll talk about later how you can find words that are perfect for you, depending on what level you are, depending on what grade you're at. But right now, I'm just kind of thinking of words. I have my little list over here. I'm trying to erase my board. It's not erasing very well. All right, let's go ahead and continue. So those are CVC words. Those are words that have a consonant, a vowel in the middle, and then another consonant at the end. So let's try a few more words of words that might be in first grade. Okay, so let's try this one. Okay, you see that? So now we have two letters in one box. The reason for that is we're going to blend these. This is a blend. So we're going to blend them together before we even move on to our A. So this would sound like fl, at, flat. Okay? So sometimes, because these are sound boxes and not letter boxes, we have two letters in one box. Okay? And you should start seeing these as you are becoming a better reader. You should start seeing them come up in chunks. Like as you're reading, you recognize those blends, those digraphs. Okay, and this whiteboard is just not erasing for me. So we're gonna move on to the next part. All right, so another one that we have is I'm just going to use it like that. So there's 4, but we're just going to use 3. Okay. So how do we sound this one out? We look at the beginning. Our TR sounds like truck. Tr. Our EA is that vowel team E, and then our T at the end. So this is going to sound treat. Okay. And then down here, what you can do is you can write the word together. So again, like I said, you can just take paper and pencil and do that. And you can do one on each page if you'd like, or like I said, if you want to save some paper and some room, you can put them all onto one box. So that is blending, where we take the sounds, we put them down, so you can write them down, or mom and dad can write them down, and then you sound out each box separately and then blend them together. When you're reading a book, this is a good thing to do if you're having trouble, you found a word that you can't read. Come to your sound box, put the word into the sound boxes, and then sound it out, and that should help you with any words that you get stuck on. All right, the next thing we're going to do with our sound boxes is segmenting. Okay, so this is a little bit different. This is actually the opposite of blending. So instead of putting the words together, you're going to figure out how to take them apart. Okay, I'm going to grab my other paper really fast. Okay, sorry about that. That blue was not coming off my paper. All right, so now, like I said, we're going to do the opposite. So for instance, I have some picture cards around the house. If you have picture cards, that'd be great to use, or maybe mom and dad can print some pictures out. But look at this picture here, we see it, and the boy is using a mop. So this time, you're just going to hear the word. You hear the word mop, and you're going to segment it on your sound box. So you're taking it apart instead of blending it together. So if I see the word or hear the word mop, I'm going to do this. M, ah, mop. Okay. So again, instead of blending them together, I'm actually taking them apart. So let's try a couple more. Oh, actually, this is where you can go ahead and do it with me. So pause your video, and if you can go get a paper and pencil, a whiteboard and marker, anything that you have to write, if you have Post-its, whatever you want to try. So go ahead and pause it, grab your supplies, and then come on back. All right, hopefully you got all your things. So the next one we're going to do, I'll show you the picture, and you can write it with me, okay? You see the picture? All right, what is that? A pig, right? So go ahead and in your Elconian boxes that you have at your house, go ahead and sound that out. How would I sound that out? First thing I have to do is figure out how many boxes will I need. So in order to do that, I use my fingers and I sound out the word. P, I, G. So how many? 3. So you're gonna grab one that has 3, or go ahead and draw 3 boxes on your paper right now. And then in each box, you're going to hear the sound and write it down. So we have I, G, pig. Did you get it? I hope so. All right, let's go ahead and do a couple more together. Okay, here we have fish. So let's go ahead, sound out fish and see how many boxes we'll need. I, sh. 3 sounds again. So take your Elconian box that has 3 boxes and sound it out and write down what letters you hear. I, sh. Now the ending is something special, right? We call it digraph. So it's going to be 2 letters in our last box. So see if you know which one it is. Okay, hopefully you guys got it. Again, you can always pause me if you need more time to think. I, sh. I, sh. All right, did you get it? F, I, and then our digraph was SH. Sh. So 1 sound, 2 letters, okay, 1 box. So again, these are sound boxes, not letter boxes. All right, let's try a couple more. I'll go a little quicker. Hopefully you guys are getting the hang of it. This is a picture of a nest. So how would you sound out nest? N, E, st. So 3 again. Go ahead and write it in your box. I'll give you a little time. Let's sound it out together. N, E, st. Ooh, I hear 2 letters in that one. St, nest. Okay, did you get it? Good job. All right, we'll do a couple more. But like I said, you can do this at home with words that maybe they're spelling words from your teacher. Maybe you find the words in the book. Wherever you can find words to work on, you can use the Elconian boxes, okay? All right, let's do another one. What's that? A tree. So let's sound it out. E. Oh, this one only has 2. So I'm going to just cross off my last box. That's an option, or if you have one where you are just drawing it, just only draw 2 boxes. And let's sound it out. Tr, E, tree. So tr, T-R, like truck. And then E, what makes the E? 2 E's. When we hear a long vowel, we usually have 2 vowels in there somewhere. So we have E-E, makes a long E. So this time we only have 2 boxes. Tr, E, tree. Okay. We'll do one more with some long vowels just so you can see. And hopefully you'll get the hang of it. I think you already have, because most of my friends know this pretty well. All right, let's do a bossy R. So here's our picture of a star. So how would I do star? Let's sound it out. St, R. 2 boxes again. So again, I'm going to cross off one of my boxes or only draw 2. St. So what makes the st? You're right. S, T. And then we have R. R, like a pirate. Do you remember? Has to be a vowel. Vowel first, and then our R. R, star, A-R. St, R, star. All right, so that is segmenting, where you're looking at the picture or hearing the word and then sounding it out. You're separating all the sounds. Okay, so that's another activity you can do with Elconian boxes. I have one more. This one's the most challenging one, so I hope you continue working with me and seeing what we're doing. Again, my flight school friends, we do this all the time, and this is actually one of their favorite activities, is manipulation with the words. So we're manipulating them. We're substituting a letter, we're deleting a letter or sound to get something new. So let's go ahead and use some of the same words we used before. So before we had the word pig, right? We had P-I-G for pig. Let's take the P away and add a W. Okay, so instead of a P here, we're going to have a W. What letter is W? Good job, W. And then the rest of the word stays the same. So instead of pig, we now have wig, wig, okay? So we're substituting a letter. We substituted the P for a W and created a new word, okay? And like I said, my friends love this game. They love this activity at flight school, so you can do it at home too. Let's try another one. If we have the word nest. Here we had the word nest. See it. We're going to substitute the N for a B. B. What letter would that be? B. Good job. So now you have the word best, best. All right. The other thing you can do besides substituting is delete. So that means you take away, right? You take it off. So if we have a word like, oh, we're going to do a long one this time. Okay, here's the word flight. So flight would actually have 3 sound boxes, and it has 6 letters, but only 3 sound boxes. So if we take off the f, we delete the f, what word do we have now? What's the word? You got it, light, light. And then we can substitute again. So let's take the L and make it a S. So we take the L off, make it a S. What's our new word? Sight. Sight. Good job. And then we can keep going. Let's take off the T. So we're going to take away. We're going to delete the T. So we just have to erase it. Easy peasy. And now we have the word sigh. Sigh. Like, what you're going to do, because we're almost done today, okay? But you guys have been doing a great job. So if you're having some trouble thinking of words, okay, I will tell you guys, moms and dads too, I don't always know these words right away. I had to write a lot of these words down so I would remember them for our lesson like I do in flight school, but Google is going to be your best friend, because all you have to do is go into the search bar and type in long A words, okay, or words with digraphs, or word lists for first graders. And all these word lists will pop up. And then you can start having your child, if you don't have picture cards, that's okay. You can tell them the word, you can give them clues to the word so that they can write it down and guess it. And then you do these 3 activities that will help you blend the word, you segment the word, and then you manipulate the word, which is deleting or substituting the letters. And these will really help your child to be able to read words faster, okay, and help them with their reading that their teacher is giving them. So one thing I told you I would help you with 3rd grade, okay? If you have a 3rd grader or 4th grader, or some of these words you say, Miss Shay, they're too easy, that's okay, okay? We're gonna turn our Elconian boxes into syllable boxes. So here's our syllable boxes. So instead of having it each sound, you take the syllables and you make it into your boxes there. So we have a word like return. How many syllables? Return. And you put it into your boxes. Return. Okay? Or maybe you're working on prefixes and you have the word untie. So again, untie. 2 boxes. And you sound it out, untie. Okay, so you can do this with your words that are more than 1 syllable. You can do 2-syllable words, 3-syllable words, 4-syllable words. So if you're in a higher grade level, you can still do this activity. It's just a little different. We changed it to syllable boxes instead of sound boxes. The last thing I want to show you is a game. So when you have all these words practiced with your child with the Elconian boxes, I have a fun little game. Again, we used to play this in flight school, so hopefully friends will remember. It's called Follow the Path, and this one I actually just made for my kiddos at home. Can you guys see it? But basically all you have to do is you take a piece of paper and you make some cool little path that you want them to follow. So that your child can make this. You can go up and down. You can make it a crazy path or a normal path, whatever you want to do, just so it goes around on the paper. So here's mine. It kind of looks like an M if you can see it. Okay. Then you can outline it to make it a little easier. And take your word list. Maybe it's your teacher's spelling word list. Maybe it's the words you want to work on. And you write them down in each of the little lines. You make lines for each one. And then you go ahead. This is a long O. This is the long O word list. So we have words like goat and toe, and we just wrote all different words along the path. Okay. Then you go to your sorry box or Monopoly or somewhere else where you might have a dice. And you roll the dice, okay? And you get little markers. Again, maybe you have them from your thing. I actually have little shapes that I use. So you start at the green. And if you roll a 2, you go 2 spaces, try to read the word. Okay, sound it out. If you can't get it, it's okay, you only go back 1, and then your next friend or whoever's playing with you gets to roll, okay? And as you go along, you're reading all the words. You should be listening to what your friend says to see if they have the same word, because you might get to that word later. So just a fun way to play a game with the words that you practiced in your Elconian boxes. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed our lesson and our game today. I will be here every Tuesday. If you have any questions, I went over a lot of stuff, so hopefully you got it all. Remember, you can always pause if I was going too fast. But if you have any questions, please email me. My email is shayk@fvsd.us. I will also write it down below in the description for you guys. Okay, so hopefully you had fun, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye, guys.